In today's world and in common parlance, negotiation and dialogue are not differentiated from one another. When we talk of dialogue, we look at negotiation tables, and when we look at conversations, we also look at negotiation tables. But there is a very, very basic and a fundamental difference between dialogue and negotiation. And I think we need to make this subtle fundamental difference in these times. Maybe earlier times it might not have been necessary. But today, the craft of negotiation or the skill of negotiation, as we witness on a variety of platforms, is not the same as dialogue. Very briefly, when we talk of negotiations, we are talking of terms of reference, we're talking of an agenda, we're talking of a set of issues, and the parties in negotiation are normally not similarly placed as far as class status and power is concerned. There is not a fair playing field amongst the participants, though it appears that we are sitting on the same table, we are sitting in a circle, and we are able to talk to each other. But as we will notice a little more carefully, it's not a fair playing field. Not because people exercise power directly on the negotiation table, but that our particular dispositions, our particular positions in life, vis-a-vis class status and power, are at their play on negotiation table. And negotiation tables are normally set towards achieving a consensus or a resolution to a problem. Right? These may take 2 talks, these may take 3 talks, these may take 4 talks, but the orientation is to have a set agenda, to have a certain kind of a terms of reference, and these terms of reference are very seldom created jointly by all the negotiating parties, and that's how negotiations happen. And this happens in all social structures, right? Which is to say, from the family, from households, from neighborhoods, to clubs, to NGOs, to civil society organizations, to international forums, to the parliament, to arbitration councils, and wherever there is a negotiation happening, these are common features to be felt there. And in these places, dialogue is not a very important element. The reason is that you will have invariably noticed that when you start to discuss and debate the nuances of what is being said, it is often said, too much debate is not good for taking decisions. And this is something that is said even in NGOs, this is even said in academic meetings, that we can't endlessly go on discussing. We have to wind up the meeting. We have a limited amount of time. And according to the limited amount of time, this happens in seminars also. Right? You have 5 minutes to say a point, and you have only one question to ask, and that can rarely give you any idea of fleshing out your ideas, having a conversation, because such conversations take long time. Okay? Now, dialogue, I would say, is one such conversation which are free of all these trappings of a negotiation. Okay? Now, this is very rare to find. Right? In the language of practicality, in the language of pragmatism, in the language of the times that we have, we would say that such a situation is an ideal utopian situation which we'll never find ever in this earth, and therefore it's pointless debating about and discussing about what are the elements of a dialogue.